God bless you. Listen, I want to talk about the God's heart for your city, God's heart for our cities, because God is interested in the cities of our nations, and so there is a prophetic destiny for your city, and many of you are being sent into cities. I've been here in Atlanta now for 4 years. It doesn't even seem like it. It seems like I just got here a few days ago, but I've been here 4 years. On the 20th of this month will mark my fourth year of moving to Atlanta. I heard the Lord say in 2019 that He wanted me in Atlanta. He caused things to happen in my life. He shut down some things. He closed some doors, and He literally moved the earth, my earth. He moved my world to get me here because God has a purpose for the city of Atlanta, and He has a destiny. And in order for God's destiny to come forth in the city, He has to have a people. He doesn't need everybody. He doesn't need multitudes and masses to move the city. I'm thinking now about the woman of Samaritan who met Jesus at the well in John 4. And Jesus had a conversation with her. I taught on that a few weeks ago. Jesus had a conversation with her. She went into the city and told some others who lived in the city or the village, and then they came out to meet Jesus. And as a result, the whole village was changed because of that one woman. She was the remnant that Jesus used to touch the city. So what I'm saying is that the Lord doesn't need everybody in Atlanta to change Atlanta. He doesn't need multitudes or millions or the majority in order to do His will in the city where you are. He only needs a remnant of dedicated people who see the city. See, when I look at Atlanta, and I mean, Atlanta's got a lot of challenges and issues, but when I look at Atlanta through the eyes of God, I see the heart of God for Atlanta. I see the apostolic and prophetic mission of the Lord for Atlanta. I see the reality that the Lord wants to bring forth in Atlanta. Now, there's a lot of things that's working against that. Of course, religion, and I'm going to do a series on the church in Atlanta because one of the challenges for getting the kingdom, because that's what the apostolic and prophetic is. It is the kingdom of God. And one of the challenges of getting the kingdom, the manifested kingdom of God in any city is usually religion. It's usually the local church, and when so I'm going to do a series, probably a critical series, but not judgmental or condemnation on the church in Atlanta, because the church in Atlanta is really working against the kingdom coming forth. It's not just the kingdom of darkness. Okay, Satan has no power against God. His kingdom has no. It cannot stop the kingdom of God. But those who present themselves as God's people, God's leaders, as God's spokesmen, they can often get in the way of the move of God. But God has a vision for your city. God has a vision. And so part of your purpose of being in your city is you have to see it through the eyes of God. You have to see what God is saying. When I'm driving through the many neighborhoods and counties here in greater Atlanta, I'm seeing through God's eyes. And that gives me understanding of why I'm here. Of course, there's a personal reason why I'm here. There's a destiny reason why I'm here, but I'm also here to be a part of the destiny of Atlanta. Then God has a creative thrust God, whenever God is moving in a city, he always moves creatively. That's what I mean. He moves through creativity. He's not really moving through religion. And so a lot of times we look for a move of God through the religious institutions and the religious organizations, and that's not where God is moving. God is moving through creativity. So look in the creative system of your city to see God. And when I'm telling you, I'm getting Google alerts every day on creativity in Atlanta, and I see how God is moving. I want to be a part of some of those movements. I just cannot because right now, God is doing something with me creatively, and then my job often gets in the way. But if I could, I would be a part of many of those creative movements that is going forth in Atlanta. And so you have to see God in the creative thrust, in the how God is moving creatively in the city, because that is his vision and heart for your city. Okay. And then lastly, you have to have the mind of Christ for the city. That is very important. The mind of Christ. We have to have Christ's mind, not the mind of the world. Be not conformed to this world. A lot of times we have a worldly mind relating to our city, and all we're seeing is the sin and the chaos and the politics and the mayhem and the violence. That's all we see. But listen, the Lord is saying that if you will take on my mind, you will begin to feel what I feel, think like I think, and then make the choices that I want you to make that's going to help you help me, okay, to bring forth my will in the city. So that's the prophetic word for the week. The Lord is calling his people. He's calling a prophetic and apostolic people to see the city the way he sees it, and then begin to respond to the city the way the Lord is responding. Some of you are called to stand as intercessors. Some of you are called to be involved in industry. Some of you are called to release your influence, your godly influence as content creators, as Christian, as prophetic content creators. And if you begin to do that, you will begin to see the city the way God sees it, and you'll begin to move in the city the way God is moving. All right, so that's the word for the week. God bless you. Please leave a comment, like this video, share it with others, and if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do so. Shalom. God bless.